I'm Scott Burns, the Director of Public Works and Engineer for the County of Dufferin. So this presentation will give you a brief overview of the primary responsibilities of the Public Works Department here at the County of Dufferin. We'll discuss how Public Works has changed over the years, some of our recent accomplishments, future goals, as well as some of the highlights of the upcoming 2016 budget. Public Works can be broken down into two very clear and distinct divisions, transportation and waste services. Waste services is responsible for all things waste related, such as our county-wide curbside waste collection program, which offers curbside collection of solid waste garbage, blue box recycling, and green bin organics. Along with this service, there are several other programs that are offered, such as our household hazardous and electronic waste events, and curbside collection of single-use batteries, which aligns with daylight savings. These and other programs all combine in waste services to offer a very comprehensive program that works towards increasing our diversion rate and ultimately reducing what we send to landfill. Transportation can further be broken down into two groups, engineering and operations. Operations is responsible for all roadside maintenance, traffic signals, road signs, ditching, roadside grass cutting, shoulder grading, as well as our winter control function. Engineering, on the other hand, is responsible for all capital road and bridge work, which includes rehabilitation of roads and bridges, reconstruction of roads, and replacements of bridges and large span culverts. Here we try to do as much work in-house as possible, including survey work, design work, tender documents, contract administration, as well as taking care of road permits, mapping, and some other functions. Over the years, Public Works has changed in many ways, and here we'll just touch on some of the highlights. Back in the late 90s and into the year 2000, the province did a review of their highway network, and the result of a rationalization study was an additional net increase of about 90 kilometers of road to the county road network, as well as 29 bridges and large culverts. In 2005, there was the construction of the Orangeville Bypass, the South Arterial Route, which again brought more infrastructure into the county road network. In 2002, the implementation of the minimum maintenance standards helped municipalities with a bit of a guideline as to how we maintain roads during winter conditions. But the biggest change of all is certainly the state of our aging infrastructure. The county currently has 103 structures, 32 bridges, and 71 large span culverts, and 322 kilometers of road, all in different states of repair and need. Waste Services has changed over the years as well, starting with a green bin organics pilot project in 1999 and progressed towards the ultimate assumption of waste collection countywide in 2013 with the implementation of the countywide curbside collection program. So now we'll take a bit more of a detailed look at the two divisions of Public Works, and we'll start off with Waste Services. Some accomplishments for Waste Services include the recent publication of our diversion rate through Waste Diversion Ontario of 53.7%. Anything in and around 50% with a diversion rate is an accomplishment, and anything above 50% is certainly something that we should be proud of. So to give that a bit of context, we ranked third overall in our municipal grouping of 15 similar municipalities, 14th overall in the province of 226 municipalities that report to the data call, and only 21 of those 226 municipalities were over 50%. The provincial average was actually 47.3%, which leaves us around 6% above that average. So this is certainly an accomplishment that we should all be proud of. Along with this, there have been several awards that have been given to certain projects that we've undertaken in Waste Services to work towards promotion and education of our program, including the Waste Services Guide as well as our Diversion Digest. And as you can see on the slide, the program processes a significant amount of material from Dufferin County each year. Moving forward, some of our goals which align with the strategic plan include investigating a long-term local waste solution, as well as working to continually increase the county waste diversion rate. So now we'll take a look at operating for Waste Services. The first thing that I'll mention is that the status quo cost for the program will increase annually, and this is due primarily to external impacts outside of the program itself. One of which is the Consumer Price Index, which represents about a 2% increase in our contract unit rates each year. The house count, so the more homes, the more stops equals more cost. But the thing to remember with house count is that with a population increase, there's an increased tax base, and each of those new homes pays directly into the service itself. Fuel costs can also have an impact on our bottom line, but we don't foresee any increases in the price of compressed natural gas for 2016. On the revenue side of things, we have experienced significant fluctuations in the value of our marketable goods through the recycling program that we sell back to market to help subsidize the cost of the program. We've seen this fluctuate anywhere from $114 per ton to $186 per ton, and we monitor this on a monthly basis. Without these external impacts, the Waste Services operating budget would be at a 0.1% increase. Now we'll take a look at the capital budget for Waste Services. Typically, capital needs for this program are quite minimal, and that's due to one of the larger benefits of having a program and a contract, such as the one that we have here at the County of Dufferin. Here, the fleet, the fueling facilities, and any other infrastructure that's required to perform the task of curbside collection belongs to our contractor, and therefore we save significant funds on capital each year. That said, now that the program has matured since its inception in 2013, some of the real and ongoing costs are becoming quite clear. These costs generally relate to bins, boxes, and carts. We can spend upwards of $65,000 to $70,000 per year replacing and providing these materials to residents to ensure they have what they need to successfully participate in the program. So for 2016, what we're proposing is the construction of a very simple storage building at the Primrose Operations Center that would enable us to do essentially four things. First off, we'd be able to save significant funds through bulk purchasing for these materials. Secondly, we'd be able to reduce losses due to damage from current outdoor storage practices. Third, we'd be able to maintain a good enough inventory to reduce wait times in keeping our local municipal offices stocked, as a good proportion of the distribution takes place from these facilities. And fourth, we would be able to minimize any safety concerns with loading and unloading these materials for staff during the inclement weather out in the elements. Ultimately, buying power saves, and this will help us capitalize on any savings that we can pursue on an annual basis. Currently, we estimate that would be in the neighborhood of about $7,000 to $10,000 per year between materials and time savings. Without the addition of this storage building, the Waste Services capital budget would be at a 0% increase. We'll now move on to transportation, both engineering and operations, and have a discussion similar to that we had about Waste Services. Some accomplishments for transportation include the additional work that we managed to complete during the 2015 capital construction season. Originally for 2015, we had budgeted for 13.5 kilometers of road rehabilitation, 3 large span culvert rehabilitations, and 1 bridge replacement. Through several different strategies, including early tendering and shifting some of our methods for how we were going to rehabilitate roads this year, we managed to develop enough savings to complete additional work, including rehabilitation along Dufferin Road 21, 15, as well as another culvert rehabilitation on County Road 109. By the end of the season, we had completed 19.7 kilometers of road, 1 bridge replacement, and 4 large span culvert rehabilitations. Another accomplishment, which is something that we share with all of our local municipalities, is ongoing success with our winter control function. This is a task where we react to Mother Nature and work around the clock to ensure that our roads are passable throughout the winter months. Some of our goals, similar to Waste Services, they align with our strategic plan, include increasing the annual capital contribution, developing a long-term infrastructure plan, as well as an improvement process to help prolong the life expectancy of our roads and bridges. And as with every year, we will work to maximize how much work we complete. We've currently budgeted for 18.2 kilometers of roadway, 1 structure replacement, and 3 rehabilitations. So now we'll take a look at the operating budget for transportation. For 2016, there is a request for an additional staff member, an engineering technologist. The role of this individual is to help us ensure that we're getting the most value out of our projects, as well as ensuring quality. We currently have 1 person in this role, and they oversee all of our capital projects on county roads and bridges, and simply put, the projects are exceeding our capacity in volume and complexity. We're exploring creative solutions for each of our roadways to ensure that we have the most cost-effective method of reconstruction or rehabilitation to make sure that our dollars go as far as they can, but the downside to these decisions is that they require much more attention on site. We require another individual who has the skill set to make the decisions to help save money, ensure quality, perform survey work, design, tenders, inspection, as well as contract administration. This person would be heavily involved in helping us develop a process to help prolong the life expectancy of our roadways to ensure that we're helping to close that infrastructure gap. A good example of how this role saves us a significant amount of funds, it would be the 2015 County Road 11 widening and rehabilitation project. Originally, this project was slated for full reconstruction at a cost of nearly $1.6 million per kilometer. And we quickly realized that looking at the entire county road network, this wasn't feasible because that would represent over 80% of the funds set aside for road rehabilitation in 2015 at nearly $5 million. So knowing that we have one individual who has the skill set to oversee and implement a more complex project, we sat down with some geotechnical engineers and some other experts to discuss other solutions for this road that would offer similar life cycle expectancy to full reconstruction, but would give us a more cost-effective program. So what we found through these discussions was a solution that brought with it a cost of about $700,000 per kilometer. This freed up nearly $2.8 million in that project alone, which represents over 9 kilometers of a typical resurfacing project. So as long as we have individuals such as these engineering technologists, we will be able to pursue savings such as this in all of our projects. Essentially, knowledge saves money, and we need to maximize our ability to implement projects that save. We know that many of our roads are lasting around 15 years before needing substantial rehabilitation work, which means that we should be trying to get onto a rehabilitation cycle of about 21.5 kilometers per year. This can be a very challenging goal to meet, so we have to be creative with how we deal with rehabilitating our roads. Essentially, there are two real problems that need to be addressed to help us work towards this cycle. One, we simply don't have enough funds to complete what's needed to work towards the appropriate rehabilitation cycle, and two, our roads are simply not lasting long enough. Knowing that council decisions on funding are extremely difficult, staff have to focus on areas where we have control when it comes to capital. So as mentioned earlier, we investigate our roadways thoroughly so that we can explore several unique solutions for each road section to ensure quality, that we're maximizing the volume of work that we're completing while minimizing costs, and making sure that we're choosing methods to make our roads last longer. For example, if each year we can find methods to try to make our roads last closer to 20 years between rehabilitations instead of the current 15, we would eventually reach a point where the kilometer per year target would be 16 kilometers instead of 21.5. This strategy is much more demanding on site and will certainly take time, but it's another effective tool to help us reduce the rate at which the infrastructure gap is growing and will help us gain control over the life cycles of our roadways. For bridges and large culverts, we follow the recommendations of our consultants through the biannual OSUM study, which shows a suggested contribution of about $1.5 million per year to complete specified projects. These projects vary in scope from minor rehabilitation to extend a structure's useful life, to full replacement where repair work would be too costly and still have very little impact on the service life of the deteriorated structure. For the past few years, we have been fortunate that the projects have come in under budget and additional structure work has been added each year to help address the bridge and large culvert side of the infrastructure gap. For 2016 specifically, we are proposing a project cost increase, as I mentioned earlier, of about $880,000 to complete 18.2 kilometers of road work and 4 structure projects, all of which aligns fairly well with the targets mentioned earlier. So here's a question that generally becomes fairly common around budget season. What are the consequences of postponing a project? Basically, the consequence is additional cost. Anytime we allow a project to deteriorate further, it becomes a new project with new problems, needing new solutions, and always bringing along with it new costs. In short, it's a commitment to spend more in the future. Beyond specific project costs, these delays also put additional pressure on operations as our road crews work to help keep aging infrastructure in service far beyond their natural life. And in cases where we simply can't stay ahead of the curve, it ultimately ends with roads turning back to gravel and bridges closing. We currently have 2 sections of road that have turned back to gravel within the county road network, one of which as recently as 2015. And 2 bridges that have closed within the past 3 years, one of these also within the year of 2015. This is generally considered to be the worst case scenario for infrastructure, but it's also a reality that many municipalities are dealing with as we all struggle to address the ever-growing infrastructure gap. Well, thank you for sitting through my presentation. I hope it was informative and answered some questions. If any questions came from the presentation that you would like to ask, Again, my name is Scott Burns. I'm the Director of Public Works and Engineer for the County of Dufferin, and I can be reached at 519-941-2816, extension 2601, or via email at sburns@dufferincounty.ca. That's SBURNS at dufferincounty.ca, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that there may be. Thank you very much, and have a great day.